Leading today, tributes this morning for Australian cancer pioneer Richard Scolyer. A murder probe underway in Melbourne after an overnight brawl. Trump up and walks mid-interview, tensions simmer over election security. And an historic news poll, support for Anthony Albanese plummets to its lowest level yet. That's all coming up on Sunrise Early News.
Live across Australia, this is Sunrise Early News.
To breaking news this morning, and renowned scientist and pioneering Australian doctor Richard Scolyer has passed away. The former Australian of the Year recipient co-founded the world's largest melanoma biobank, where he revolutionised cancer treatments by volunteering to be patient zero. The lauded cancer doctor was diagnosed with a brain tumour back in 2023. He penned a letter to fellow Australians before his passing, stating he wished to be remembered as a proud, everyday Aussie who gave it a crack. Well, Melbourne homicide detectives are investigating the murder of a man after a fight outside a pub in the inner city suburb of Footscray overnight. Emergency services were called to the Courthouse Hotel just before 8 p.m. to find the man in a critical condition, reportedly with stab wounds. He died at the scene a short time later. Witnesses say a scuffle broke out with one person seen wielding a knife. Police are yet to make any arrest, with investigations continuing. The man is yet to be identified. Well, Western Australian authorities say there is nothing to suggest increased shark activity off the WA coast after the second fatal shark attack in just 3 weeks and the fourth fatal attack in Australia this year. Tributes continue to flow for 35-year-old Daniel Turpin, who died after being attacked while spearfishing with family off the Albany coast, 420 kilometres from Perth. It comes after Perth spear fisherman Steve Mataboni was taken by a 4-metre shark off Rottnest Island earlier this month. Well, neighbours have rushed to rescue an elderly man caught up in a unit block fire in Adelaide. He became trapped in his backyard as the blaze rapidly took hold.
Flames shoot into the night sky. Fire tearing through a unit block on Grundy Terrace just after 1 a.m.
There was smoke absolutely everywhere. You could see the flames.
Flames billowing out the front, and Unit 4 alerted me, banging on my window and door. I basically came out and Unit 2 was ablaze. Residents
forced to flee. The elderly occupant of this unit becoming trapped in his backyard.
I could hear him just making noises, sort of groaning. I think he'd probably taken in a lot of smoke.
The man was taken to hospital, his unit destroyed. Fire spreading through the roof into adjoining properties.
I think it's fully sunk in yet that I've lost my home.
Investigators have determined the fire started after an elderly resident was using an electric stove to try and stay warm.
It was close to their lounge bed area, and they woke up and found that on fire.
It's understood the man didn't have a working smoke alarm.
Use appropriate heaters. Don't use a cooking stove. Working smoke alarm saves lives. They give you early warning.
Jonathan Edwards, 7 News.
Heading overseas now, when US President Donald Trump has up and walked out of an interview after lashing a reporter as crooked. Let's go live to Miley Hogan in Washington, D.C. And Miley, it seems like a pretty tense interview.
Yeah, David, good morning. The US President was visibly frustrated and growing agitated before he decided to call it quits and walk out of that interview. It was a taped interview with NBC's Meet the Press's Kristen Welker, and she asked him about a number of different issues, but there were really 2 points that seemed to hit a nerve with Donald Trump. She pressed him on the controversial weaponisation fund that could potentially compensate people that were involved in the January 6 riots, and then she pressed him on the widely debunked claims that he keeps making that the 2020 election was stolen from him. She said to him that he has never been able to present any evidence to back up that claim. Here's the exchange.
You're either crooked or you're stupid. You play right into their hands with this rep. You know that these elections are rigged. Let's call it quits because I've had enough. Thank you, darling. Have a good time.
The President gave a speech after that where he called NBC fake news, and he said he was having trouble with the weather during that interview. Kristen Welker has also given a statement saying that, yes, there were a couple of issues with the rain during that interview, but that she spoke to the President afterwards and he agreed to give her another interview at a later date. David?
Certainly fired up, Miley Hogan. Thank you. Back home, and police in northeast Queensland are investigating a motorcycle crash that saw a middle-aged man lose control of his Harley Davidson along a popular Townsville restaurant strip. The 56-year-old man was riding along the Strand just before 10 p.m, with witnesses saying the man was travelling at high speeds before crashing into a pole. Witnesses also reported the man being intoxicated, lashing out at those attempting to help him.
He was just trying to help him out, but he refused the help, and then that's when the fight started.
Emergency services sedated the man before transporting him to hospital, and police are yet to lay any charges. Well, an historic new poll shows the Prime Minister's ratings have plummeted to a record low. The news poll shows support for the major parties dipping, with One Nation on top at 31%, nudging past Labor's 30%. Approval for Anthony Albanese has also slumped to his lowest rating since being in office, with 60% of Aussies saying that they aren't happy with his performance. Well, checking Monday's weather now. In Brisbane, showers easing and 23 degrees. Sydney, a shower or two and 20. Canberra, morning frost, sunny and 15 degrees. Melbourne, partly cloudy and 17. Hobart, sunny and 16 degrees. Adelaide, sunny and 19. Perth, showers possible. Storm this afternoon, 21 degrees. And Darwin, sunny and 31 degrees. Well, still to come on Sunrise Early News, $1 million in Madrid for Pope Leo's Spanish visit. And a YouTuber's bizarre marketing stunt. That's next on Sunrise Early News.